Who's here? There he is. Always depend on you, Marco. Appreciate you, Bubba. Once again, don't have a hard plan for tonight. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do. There is stuff to be done. So for now, the plan is just to tinker till something feels right. If that makes any sense. Till I feel motivated by something. That motivates me, but no point in showing y'all that because I can't do it here. So all that's going to go back home with me. I got a new scale design swirling in my head. I was hoping I had brought the scales for KDX Garage's knife over here. I was gonna get it done up tonight, but I think I ran off and left the scales at home. And the blade's right here. But I'm pretty sure I left this handle material at the house. So that's not so great. Guys, I'm going to be honest, I just ate. I literally. And I've got some digestive issues. I mean, I got all kind of issues. But the point is, I'm going to sit down for a minute. Kind of let my food settle. Maybe I should have did all this before I turned the live stream on. I would agree. But I didn't start feeling that burning until I got in here and got to moving around. So what's up, Ryan? Keith the knife freak. What's up, Keith? We'll get to grinding something here in a minute. Right after I eat, if I get to moving around too much, man, I get indigestion so bad. I used to think it was my heart. Like it's almost a crippling pain. Time to poop? No, I don't think I'm due for one of those. I just gotta let my food settle a little bit. I used to get scared a lot because my chest would get to hurting. I feel like I couldn't breathe. And then I figured out that it was me and the doctors figured out it was indigestion. I'm going to bed soon with a long day. I hear you, Keith. I hate I'm not doing anything exciting right off the rip, but I'll be up in a minute. Just noticed Meathead's got a new, he's got a whole new security camera up there. He's probably at home watching me right now, cussing because I'm sitting in this chair not doing anything. A few more belches. Let that food get settled down a little bit. I'll be good. Kind of upset I didn't bring those scales. I'd really like to get Jason's knife finished. What's up, Rick? But I've got other stuff I can work on. There's not many people in here, and I posted it in Discord last night, but that set of knives that I had commissioned to make by a certain designer, I am redesigning those. I'm modifying the blade shape because as of right now, all the money in those knives is mine. So I'm going to finish those knives with a different shape, slightly different blade shape, and sell them at a huge discount. Those knives are going to be probably $325 with the sheath because of the cut going to the designer. But I'm going to sell them for $150 without a sheath. I will ship it to Terry or to Joe or whoever you want to for a sheath. It's just to be knife only for $150, and then I'm going to donate that money to I don't know the name of it. It's that foundation where Tim Tebow and Jim Caviezel, they're fighting child trafficking. So all the proceeds of those knives will go to that. So Keith Meathead actually absolutely hates this chair being in here. His wife brought it in here, and he can't stand it. Meathead can't stand to see anybody sitting still. But yeah, so we're going to try to get those done up soon and get those knives off my books, out of my life. But it's a Magna Cut blade. You know, it's a pocket fixed blade. You know, they were supposed to be forest fixed blades. That's no longer happening, so I'm reshaping them a little bit. So now you can, you know, you can buy a nice custom knife for a discounted price and know that you're also donating to a foundation that helps rescue kids from sex trafficking. So everybody knows me knows I'm broke as shit. I could use that money, but it doesn't mean as much to me as you know, the whole situation just went foul. So I just want to be able to wash my hands clean of it, and if we can do something to help children, then that's what we'll do. One of them is already spoken for, so I only have 4 left. So there will be 4 of them. Anyway, I think I'm feeling a little better. Let me get selected. That's the only problem with this damn recliner. It's hard to get out of. It just rocks back way too easy. That, and I'm top heavy anyway. I'm all torso. I got the little tiny legs. But I've got one here. I've already reshaped it. You know, it's just gonna be a little drop point fixed blade. That's all it is. These are in Magna Cut, about 64.5 HRC. And yeah, we're gonna raise some money to the Tim Tebow Foundation with these. There's not a whole lot of foundations out there that I put a lot of weight into. But when you look at their stats and the number of kids that they've rescued, I don't know how you could not be all about that. So I got a heathen here with a scalp carry sheath. I've got to get the clip put on. The little ulti-clip, APH. Tried these the first time at Blade Show, and this is, in my opinion, the absolute best scalp carry setup. So the sheath here, you bolt the clip on, and well, I'm sorry, you bolt the clip on the back, So that hook sticks up over the top. So you just slide it under your belt, and that hook immediately catches on the belt, and it holds the knife nice and snug because of the spring tension of this. It just works perfectly. I didn't expect it to work as good as it did. Like I said, when I tried it at Blade Show, absolutely loved it. Now for the hard part. For Shane is threading these little tiny screws. You guys are all very well aware how poorly my hands work. Starting and tightening these screws is definitely going to be a challenge for me. I don't doubt that I'll be able to do it. It's just going to be a challenge. I'm pretty sure at Blade Show I had John Evans installed it for me. I think he got tired of watching me struggle with it. I carried the knife around at Blade Show. Scout carry. And with this particular design, or with this setup, I didn't design anything, I'm sorry. And it just made it effortless. Like you could barely tell that, even tell that the knife was there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, the only issue is that I'm really going to struggle with this hardware. For those of y'all who were around, you can think back to the Mannix ball cage debacle on my live stream. I'm hoping it won't be that bad. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing, but in case you're wondering, I'm failing miserably is what I'm doing. I don't know if I can get the camera down low enough for y'all to be able to watch me fuck this up. It is a little bit embarrassing that I'm just fumbling with these pieces because my fingers just don't work like yours do. Let me take the knife out. I don't think any chance of me cutting myself. Like any normal person would have just been able to stick this in that hole. It really should be that damn easy. But for me it is not. Let me make sure it fits. Yeah, it fits perfect. And there it went. Already dropped it. And of course, there's not enough. There's no spares. No spares at all. Is that it? Yeah, I found it. Ryan, if you were in the mood for another shit show, get your popcorn and your butter, buddy. Well, I guess I need to make sure these screws will even screw into that. I mean, I know that's what they're for, but it sure don't be. Yeah, thread right in. See guys, this is the kind of stuff that gets me, it kind of stops me in my tracks, man, because I get frustrated trying to do something this simple when I can't make it happen. I just walk away, then it doesn't get done. Really nothing gets done because I get frustrated. Like right now, my fingers feel like somebody is stabbing them with needles. But I got it. Got the first one. I know it doesn't make sense. Why would it feel that way? I don't get it either. It just does. Anytime I try to use my fingers for something that requires a little dexterity, they immediately start hurting. Well, I got lucky on that one. Got it first try. Alright. I'm going to put the knife back in. Let's see if I can show you how this works. You just get the clip. up in behind the belt. And that little hook right there grabs on. And yeah, it's not intrusive. Can't really feel it. Doesn't make it uncomfortable to carry at all. Oh, shit. So that was way harder than it should have been. But that's the world I live in, man. And you can slide it once you get it on there. That little Y-shaped spring is pretty taut, so it holds it in place. It won't dance around on you. But if you grab it, you can at least move it from one belt loop to another. Now, if he wanted to carry this in the small of his back, he'd have to flip that clip around. And I'm going to let him, because I'm not doing it. I'm installing it one time, and it's his property from there on out. He can do with it as he pleases. Bugs, I need to look into a lot, buddy. I've got a new consult in for some rehab. Probably take a couple of weeks before I hear back on it, but I'm definitely going to need some work to get back on my feet. With any kind of normalcy. Yeah, and that little clip costs like $12, I think. So, you know, on a pancake style sheath like that, I'm sorry, on a taco style sheath like that, you can't use that clip to put it in your pocket because you don't have a hole on the opposite side. So it's only good for scout carry, but if you want it to put it in your pocket, then you just get the little regular ulti clip. The Bugs, I'll reach out to you about that. Right now I'm struggling, like I said, because I just ate. Anytime I eat, it's a good hour before I can really get to doing much. Because every time I move, that indigestion just crushing my chest. Yeah, I think I can get them for like $10 a piece as a maker. UltiClip's got a program, but I probably don't buy enough to qualify for it. Yeah, Eastern Kentucky fresh air, and I love Kentucky. I fell in love with the most beautiful girl in the world. She was from London, Kentucky. I was much younger and much better looking at the time. And this was before cell phones. Bugs, it's UltiClip. It's the APH. You in Harlan? Do you get annoyed that Harlan is so famous now because of Justified? Does that bother the Harlan locals? I guess y'all are kind of famous too now because of isn't Tyler Childers from Harlan? I know he's from close. I think Justified was the best television series It's at least top 5. You know, to try to make it compete with like Breaking Bad is a little unfair. They just had a different energy, you know. Breaking Bad didn't have the humor that Justified did, and it was more palatable. I'll say that. I think people who are just turned off completely by the hardcore drug thing in Breaking Bad can still watch Justified. That effing show. You'll never leave Harlan alive, sharper than most. Pretty sure that's how the song went, isn't it? But yeah, I gotta take it easy for a minute. I'm gonna get back to doing something. May put scales on Nora Brown's knife tonight, and I think I'm gonna shorten this handle just a little. I think I'm gonna take just a hair off the end of it there. It's already it fits my hand good, but I have really big, thick hands, so I think it's going to be excessive for a female. Now granted, I know she'll probably never use this knife or anything, and that's okay, but it was her dad's knife. So yeah, anyway, maybe we can find some scale material to throw on that bad boy. I think I want to use that. See if I got some micarta laying around here. I know Jason wanted micarta. I'm not sure I got any. Got a lot of wood, man. It's nice wood. Got this nice orange micarta. I don't know, I ain't feeling that though. I think Jason would have wanted something a little more natural. You know, something like this if I had more of it. If I don't find something that just speaks to me, I just won't do it tonight. I'm not rushing that knife. I do like this rich light. We might just go with that. But I'm still gonna need a few minutes. Let my gut settle before I do too much. Hey, wait a minute. There's some micarta right there. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is more. I knew I'd find something that stuck out. In case you're wondering about this handle material mess I've got going on, Bugsy, yours is not in there. I've kept yours. Wanna know why knives? I knew you were building a channel, bud. I don't think I've subscribed yet, but I will. I don't really watch a whole lot of knife content anymore, but I'll subscribe and I'll give it a shot. I've just been watching it for so long, man, that I've, you know, it just became a little overwhelming. What I really need to do is bring some Rolaids to keep here at the shop. I used to. If I came in and chomped a couple of Rolaids, I'd be good to go already. I'm trying to decide if I want to do liners on that micarta. It's going to be pretty thin. It's fairly thin material. I happen to like thin handles. I know some people don't, and you're not always making a knife for you. But when I sandwich it all together, I think that's plenty thick. It's not a big hard use knife. Rick, something did kind of happen to me, bud. I just slipped into a really, I don't want to go too far, like I wasn't considering ending myself, but I got into a pretty deep depression and just couldn't make myself get up and do anything. You know, and I'll be honest, I'm not out of it. I slept all day today. That's why I'm here now. But, Bugsy, I think you're right. It's going to need at least some white liners. I wish I had some more Tiffany. I love Tiffany blue liners. You know, and I don't want to half-ass this thing. I want it to be pretty. From what my understanding, you know, Jason Bird's gonna own it until the time comes to pass it down to Nora. I didn't, Todd. That probably would have been a good idea. But I'm also trying to remember that it's Jason's knife and she's gonna get it. It's not necessarily her knife. I don't know. Maybe that's weird. So I've got white, I've got pink. I haven't used a lot of pink, I'll be honest. I've got some Tiffany, but it's as thick as the scale material. That wouldn't necessarily be a liner, it would just be a two-piece scale. Let's see what this edge looks like with a little bit of cleanup, because it's so coarse looking right now. I can't really tell. Can't get a good read on what the liner will look like. Now maybe pink is the move. I know she likes pink. I've seen plenty of pictures of her with all of her pink stuff. I mean, she's a little bit of a girly girl. Maybe that's the move. But I don't like the pink with this. Now the pink with the rich light does look a lot better. I don't know how to explain it to y'all, but the edge on this is just very thready. Does that make any sense? Like it doesn't really slick up. Let me hit it on the bumper. Yeah, even when you shine it up some, it's still, it's kind of dirty looking. Maybe I'll hold off on that. Yeah, I think the rich lights are much better. Looks much better with the pink. You know what a Kaiser smoke display look like? I need that Tiffany. I need a 4x4 of it. How much? You can buy it at Pop's Night Supply. You can get sheets like this of it. I don't remember how much they are. It's not a ton of money. But I'll say, man, I've done scales in Tiffany. Like do the whole knife scale in Tiffany. Let me just show you an example. This one's pretty dirty, but that is one issue with it. Is it gets dirty really easy. As you can see, I just think Tiffany is a lot better as an accent and not a solid color. If these scales had been electric blue with Tiffany pins, I think that looks a lot better than Tiffany scales with blue pins. Now this one's not polished or finished or anything, but like I said, it just it seems to dirty up kind of easy. Yeah, I don't care for it as an entire scale, but that's me. I mean, I don't have any to sell. Want to know why? Are you just talking about, you just want me to cut you out a 4" by 4" piece of this? Is that what you're saying? Because I'd be glad to do that. I wouldn't charge you anything, man. I just, you know, if you pay for shipping would be fine. Yeah, we'll just do that then, dude. I'll just message me on Instagram. So I want to make sure I've got. See, even with that, I think that looks good. That's going to be a little thick for this small of a knife, in my opinion. Like I said, a lot of people love thick scale material. And this butterscotch micarta is kind of pretty too. And this is pretty rare. Maybe I. Yeah, I'm going to do Nora's knife in the butterscotch micarta. Just because Jason never said rich light. He said micarta. So that's what we're going to do. Cosman, I don't typically talk about shrimp. I'm interested in it. And Bugsy's here. He's definitely a shrimp guy. I know y'all met the other night. Yeah, let me see if I can find my measuring device. Are you pretty solid in that? 4 inches by 4 inches is what you need? Because I'll cut you off a piece and mail it to you. It is. It's EDGY American Blades. It'll take me years to use the rest of this sheet because, like I said, I don't like it as a solid scale. I just, got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go about 4.5 just to make sure we don't come up short. Just to make sure, since you're here, that's a 4.5 inch by 4.5 inch square. That's what you want, right? I'll wait on your answer. Like I said, I don't charge you nothing. Okay, I'll get it cut out here in a minute. My bandsaw is in horrible shape. That blade is slick. What's up, Luke? And I've got the door open, the big fan on, and my shirt is literally stuck to me. It's fucking hot in here. There's another reason why I'm not too upset that I'm not getting out during the day. Yeah, I can cut it in half. It's because it's so damn hot in here during the day, I'd pass out, man. All right, let's see if the bandsaw will even cut it. If not, I may have to take it to the other shop and cut it tomorrow. I guess I should have warned headphone users before I turned that saw on. Pretty obnoxious. Yeah, I failed miserably at getting these exactly the same size. This piece is 2x4. Anyway, you got plenty. Because the narrowest piece is 2 inches and the other one's a little wider. You got a little excess. Good deal, good deal. That's one thing you'll learn. I don't, and I wish I could change it, but I don't really have the capability of doing extremely precise cutting. That bandsaw on that swag table. You see those swag bandsaw tables all over YouTube. All the fabrication shops have them. But that blade, you can't push straight into it. You have to figure out the amount of twist that it needs to stay straight, and there's no guard. And as you saw, it's got exactly a 4-inch throat. So if you need to cut something over 4 inches like that, you just can't. But I mean, it does what I needed to do. I'll take those home with me, and you reach out to me on Instagram, want to know, and I'll get them mailed out to you, bud. That sheet's probably 35, 40 bucks. That wouldn't make any sense for you to have to buy a whole sheet to do a little small job. I can't believe how hot it is in here, man. Like, I was in here the other night, it wasn't this bad. I don't know if y'all can see the sweat bead rolling off my forehead. Maybe I didn't give it enough time for the temperature to drop. Let me go open the front door so I can get a draft going in here and pull some of this hot air out. I'll be right back. Guys, I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm not in a hurry. I don't have anything pressing I just have to have done tonight. Probably going to be here a while, but I'm going to take it pretty slow. And I know that's going to be a little boring. I apologize, but that's just where I'm at tonight. I don't feel near as good tonight as I did Sunday night. Maybe it's because I just ate. Maybe the pass. Maybe it's because it's fucking triple-digit temperatures in here. But yeah. I guess, you know, might as well get these cut out for Nora's. And then get some, I think that tangerine paper micarta with white liners will be pretty. Maybe do some white pins, I don't know. And so I'm not really shooting for something themed to Nora as much as I am themed to Jason. If it's Jason, that means I need to use brass pins. I wonder what that'll look like, brass on. Where are my brass pins? There's white pins, cotton pins, there's some brass pins. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do brass pins, because that's what Jason would want. Let's go get this cut out. Again, guys, it's fixing to get loud. I apologize. Then what I really need to be doing tonight is once I epoxy this up with the liners, I'm gonna have to let them sit overnight, so I won't be installing them tonight. What would be really productive is if I just cleaned up and organized some. Because I've created a fucking mess, like an absolute mess. I can't find anything because it's all just piled on top of each other. And of course, I don't know what I did with that white liner material. There it is. This cuts great with scissors. And I've got scissors, and I ain't got a damn clue where they're at. Because once again, I've created a mess. But I found them. I'll be dang. See how we're going to do this. We're going to mix up the epoxy, coat this corner in it, lay both scales on it, put a weight on it, and let it set. And then when it's done, I can come back and cut them out. That way I've only got one piece. It's like I'm working with one piece instead of two. I need less hands, less rush, all that shit. So that's how I'm going to do it. We got some epoxy right here. Before I start squeezing out epoxy though, I bought this for that very reason, to put down when I'm doing epoxy work. So if any of it squishes out, it doesn't get on and ruin the surface I'm working around. So hats off to me for remembering that. Alright, so I got both pieces epoxied down to that. And then I take my weight and set on top of those. And leave that till tomorrow. May at least put the knife back on the hook before I misplace it too. I kind of forgot all about this thing. This is 14C. Look at how thin this shit is. Make a hell of a fancy steak knife. I ain't heat treated it or anything yet. It's just kind of existing over there. That thickness in 14C. I'm going to buy some more of it, but not to make blades out of. That's something you'd make liners out of, like for a liner lock. Terry here, he won't be here long. We have to get them boys to bed. Terry, I apologize for sending you that clip again. I don't know why every time I listen to that song, for some reason it makes me think of you. That's why I've sent it to you more than once. So I got Paul Mills' prick here. I guess I could. Well, really all it needs is heat treating. We ain't heat treating tonight, it's too fucking hot. too fucking hot. Turn that oven on. Sorry, Paul. Still kind of excited about my Bravo 6. Call of Duty tactical knife. And of course, I still got Cheetos. To do. I don't know, something's gonna pop in my head that motivate me to do tonight. Just not sure what that is yet. Well, I've got those other two kitchen knives I've got to get shaped. Maybe I'll do that. Well, there's a reason why I'm not grinding these bevels yet. But you know what? I think I will. I think I am going to grind the bevel on that one, just because I want to see how it turns out. I remember now why I stopped. I stopped because of my platen issue. I was complaining about Sunday that I have now fixed. So let's get back to that. But now I don't have a reason. I don't have a reason to not be able to do it. You know, the thing about working on these knives for Cheetos, the worst thing that can happen is I run all of them us. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I mean, it's my money, my materials. So if I run them, I run them. I don't owe anybody anything, so that's a plus. But I really just want to make them like he wants them made. And I just can't seem to get the self-confidence. I can't get the self-confidence up to allow me to do that. Weird as that sounds. Taught you. Boy, y'all went for a ride. Can't believe my old hands caught that. That would have surely shattered my screen even more. I still haven't found my Cobalt T-handled Allen that I've been using for years on this jig. But again, if you guys got a really good look at this table, you'd know why. It's probably just laying right here. I can't see it. Here's the hoping I don't fuck this up. My fear, guys, what's got me intimidated is the transition into that stuck. I can't remember into that swedge. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know if you guys can tell there's already a swedge ground there. I don't know what it's going to do is that dry inclined tire. But ain't but one way to find out. I guess let's grind it and live with it, I guess. Fuck, I don't know. I was just worried it was going to be really ugly. Right now, looking at it, it actually looks a lot better than what I had pictured. Yeah, well, maybe I way overthought it. I mean, I don't think the transition looks bad. I still got a little bit to climb up to get to the spine. Shit, I think it looks pretty good. I ain't mad at that at all. It wouldn't be the first time my fear of fucking up has kept me from accomplishing something. But in all fairness, he wanted these hollow ground. I am going to attempt to do one in hollow ground. Actually, the next one, I'm going to attempt hollow ground. But I've got to know I can pull off this wedge transition first before I jump into hollow ground. But here's why, guys. I don't know what I did different, but I flat ground this one. And I just don't like the way that looks. And most of the swedge disappears out towards the tip. I just wasn't happy with it at all. Maybe that's unjust. Maybe I can redefine the swedge a little. I don't know. But that knife is the one that killed my motivation to work on these. I wasn't happy with it at all. I didn't want to continue doing the same thing I was doing and fuck all of them up. But for some reason, this one looks a lot better. Yeah, that's the problem, Bugsy. It's something I hate to admit. I've never been able to pull off a saber grind. Like, I just can't get the line straight. I cannot get the bevel perfectly straight across the top to make a saber grind look right. And every knife you look at with a swedge has a high saber and then a flat and then the swedge. So you have that three-step transition, and it looks good. But all I've ever done is flat grinding because I think saber grinding is a waste of steel. Because you're losing geometry for no reason other than it's easier. Well, it's not easier for me, it's just less work. And maybe that is a difference. Maybe this is at a slightly different angle than it was when I ground that other one. I don't know. But eventually I'll have a night where I get out here, camera probably won't be on, I'll turn the speed way down and I'll clean up that swedge to make it look better and it'll be fine. How dare you tell me not to take it so thin? That's all I know, Bugsy. They like asking, work tough gear. How about not make those knives so tough and thick? Well, these vertical lives don't get the traction they used to. We got 5 people in here. I used to get viewership in the thousands. Probably because I'm not using hashtags and all that shit. Yeah, I know. So if you want my honest opinion, Bugsy, I say fuck the swedge and make the geometry as good as it can be. I can do, like, I'm close to that now, Todd. The problem is, I would be fine with this knife looking just like this. But I didn't do the other side that way because I couldn't. I can get one side, but I can never get the other to do the same thing. And technically, you're right. I should probably stop right there. Then I'll have a flat right here that I can polish and make look nice. But I didn't do that on the other side because I couldn't. Like when I was doing the other side, this line had a big hump in it. And I know that's my fault. But I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I think I know the secret. Like Todd, I've been watching a lot of other makers and how they're getting that perfectly straight line across the top of the bevel to transition into the flat. They're working off the edge of the platen. Like they've got it kicked at an angle. So the only part touching is that edge and it makes a nice straight cut where I'm pushing flush in against the platen. When I've tried to work off the edge before, I've been able to get stuff straightened up. Like I remember Kyle making fun of me for it, but I think it is a legit part of knife making. I think it's a legit skill. I just haven't learned it because I didn't need to. Like if I'm gonna do a full flat and I want it to be as slicey as it can possibly be, I don't care about any of that other crap. Now I get it, that's hindering me now. There's no telling. I mean, talk with my hands, there's no telling. But it is one reason why I like doing a full flat. Even with my shaky hands, if I get a little high spot in my bevel, I'm going to grind all that out anyway, because I'm going all the way to the spine. So, I guess I just need to get some mild steel and just, really practice doing saber grinds till I figure them out. But I'll be honest, saber grinds are definitely more profitable, because this last part of getting this line to move up to here is the longest and most tedious. That's why makers love them, because it makes their job easier. You're right, buddy. I'll figure it out. I just never had to in the past, so it wasn't an issue. Pretty thin. Of course, I gotta clean the swedge up. It's not supposed to be black. We're gonna go with a less aggressive belt for that. I don't know, man. Maybe maybe switches just ain't for me. Rick, if I'm not mistaken, you were one of the ones that wanted one of Cheetos. I think it was you. Right now, I'm just really hoping I can make them look as good as he wants them to look. I'm not giving up. It's just some, it's just different skill sets than what I've been doing. I appreciate the challenge. I mean, there's definitely a swedge. It's 0 ground. I think it looks pretty good. But next, the next step is to see if we can get one hologram. Now, this is going to be a huge learning curve too, because I've never even set my grinder up for this. I've got the stuff to do it. But it's all quite new. Quite new to me, I mean. So I've got to figure out how to make it work. So I guess now's as good a time as any. I know finishing that flat ground knife with Cheeto is kind of risky, because if I pull off the hollow ground, I doubt very many people are going to want the flat ground. But I say that, there may not be as many people out there crazy about polygons as I think there are. So now, I got to figure out how to get my table, up level where I'm working. along the side of me. I don't know that I ain't gonna fuck this up. So this edge needs to be level with the center of the wheel. It's pretty close now. Not dead on. I gotta find a wrench. Loose wrench. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've done all this work, sitting, squatting, standing up, everything, with that knife, scalp carry. And it's caused me zero issues. Oh, I guess I need to tighten it down first. About right there. It needs to come up a half an inch or so. Sorry, y'all can't see nothing. All right, so let me get y'all in here and show you what we're working with. So, we're gonna have a 2-inch hollow grind right here. And then when that's done, I gotta go back and flat grind the front half. You may ask, Dan, are you even capable of that? Fuck, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Oh shit. Apparently I didn't have anything fucking tightened down. And that thing's got some rotating mass. Cannot stop it easily. This may go horribly, guys. I don't know. But there's no dragging it. All we're doing is pushing straight in on that hollow wheel, or that contact wheel, to create a 2-inch hollow. Now let's crank it up and see what she do. That cute little curved hollow. Guarantee you the other side won't do that. Just so y'all know, this is my first hollow grind. So the odds of me getting this right are pretty fucking low. What do you mean, am I okay, Rick? Oh, from the belt coming off? Yeah, it didn't come off with any force. I mean, I do got a nice nightmare grind transition right there when I come in and do that flat later. See, with this hollow, it's easy, man. I can run it up almost to the swedge and stop. Well, I say that. I haven't got there yet, so it might not be as easy as I think. That little curve is starting to straighten itself out. Oh, it's marked. I can clearly see the swedge. And when I've got it against the wheel, Bugsy, I can't see any of it, so it doesn't matter. The thing I've got to learn is once I get it tall enough, if I'm not at my center line, how do I change that? How do I change that angle to, you know, to thin out the cutting edge? Don't know yet. We're gonna find out. So I'm saying though, it's starting to straighten itself out now. It was following the curvature of the blade. It was kind of cute, but probably not repeatable. I have no idea how hard it is not to drag that across the wheel. I mean, when I do future hollow grinds, I'll have to, but right now I can't, and it's driving me nuts. But Bugsy, I agree with what you're saying. I'd probably just have to have somebody show me exactly what you're talking about. I've got blue Dicom fluid up there. So far my water trick's still working. I'm just watching for the water to evaporate off the back of the blade. And when it does, I stop. That's how I've always kept my blades cool. And with these hollow grinds, I can even see if I need to apply pressure more to one side or the other, because the water starts evaporating on one edge. I want it to start evaporating right in the center and work its way out. That's giving me a lot of information about what's going on the side I can't see. I wish Cheeto was here so he could see this. Terry Mex's Cheetos. No? All right, then. Thanks anyway, buddy. Did you finally figure out Cheeto's an asshole and quit talking to him? Or you just know something I don't? Well, this is telling me a lot about future hologram thugs, though. I can see that right now. Getting me kind of excited about that. It's actually looking kind of pretty, man. I ain't gonna lie. Fuck it up when I had to flat grind that front part. It really is dumb that I'm trying to learn this on a piece of S90V. I mean, I'm very well aware I should have gotten some Pro Cut or Nitro V and practiced this. But, you know, no better way to learn than on an expensive piece of steel. I had to adjust my angle just a little bit because I was climbing up the blade good, but we weren't getting very thin on the edge. So I've increased that angle just a tad. Keeping a constant eye on my center line. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a smile, but I'm assuming that's because it's a curve. I don't know. I tell you what, if I can pull this off tonight, I'm sure going to leave here with a much better frame of mind. Because I had already told myself I wasn't going to grind these live because I didn't want everybody to see me when I fucked it up. Oh, grinding in a grin. Well, the bevel's got a little grin to it too. But I don't think there's a whole lot I can do to change that. And we're grinding on a round surface. It's going to do what it do. And this is a very expensive contact wheel. I don't know if you guys notice how big it is. They don't make those in cheap. And it's a finishing wheel. It's not fluted. So it doesn't cut as fast, but it's supposed to give you a better looking finish. I'm happy with the finish so far. All those little serrated lines in your rubber wheel kind of create little micro bounces, kind of bouncing in and out. That leaves a pattern. This is supposed to not do that. Going back old school, y'all remember that shit, right? Those Sharpie lines on the bevel to see where it's hitting. I'm having to do that because I changed my angle a little bit. I want to see if it's contacting the whole thing yet. No, see, it still isn't climbing quite to the top. I got you. I know sometimes he'll message me at work. We'll have a 2-hour-long conversation. But I guess that depends on how many buses they got broke down. All right, now comes the true test. We'll flip it over and see if the other side looks the same. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm at my center line. It climbed about as high as I wanted it to. About as high as Cheeto's rendition. He had a lot of flat up here, so we still got that. You see the swedge is still there untouched. So let's see what the other side does now. Being able to do compound grinds could be a, if I can pull this off and learn it, that's definitely going to be a step in my knife making for sure. Not something I even thought I'd ever be doing. Well, this side feels way more awkward. I don't know, it's just not as natural a stance, I guess. It ain't near as pretty as the other side yet, but we got a long way to go. Yeah, it's starting to get that same smile. The only bad thing about sitting here, dude, my legs get soaking ass wet and the water dripping off this. If I could stand, I would. What's up, Jason? We were talking about you earlier. I got here. First thing I wanted to do was get the scales on your knife, and then realized I left them at home. But it is coming soon, buddy, I promise. If I'd remembered to bring them with me, it would have been done tonight. Well, I literally just need one day. Still just not getting as deep as I want it. Yeah. Jason, I hope you ain't been holding on to that steak as long as you've been waiting on this knife. 'Cause if you have, that steak ain't no good no more. In case y'all wondering what I'm doing, I've got the bevel as tall as I want it. I'm having to slowly adjust my angle to get the edge thinner. It's not as thin as I'd like to have it. Hopefully this next one won't take as long. I'm still hunting my angle. I have to do this with every knife I've made. But once I get it, I've got it. Might have to go back to the other side just a hair. You're getting thin though. See all that S90V piled up right there? Damn fine shame, ain't it? That's a whole damn, that's probably a whole slip joint worth of knife blade. Yeah, I've got the plunge good down here. my plunge is a little different up here. I'm gonna have to go back to this side to fix it though. I've never had to concern myself with two plunges before. Yeah, I gotta flip her over. Pretty confident I know how to fix it. Now I got them both the same. I'll admit, this is way more technical than I thought it would be. Requires a lot of fine, precise grinding, not just hogging. arm's almost not long enough. I might have to look into getting a longer arm. I don't know if you noticed the table had a little bit of give to it. Not ideal. All right, back to flat grinding. That's gonna be tricky. Pretty damn tricky, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little bit scared, y'all. Just gonna keep the speed low and slowly eat at it. I mean, kind of looks like what Cheeto drew. There we go. Nightmare grind. I still say Cheeto's an asshole. When I'm not on stream, I'm going to take that flat ground one and try to come back and hollow it. I'll probably ruin it, but that's okay. I want to see if I can do it. I mean, Sawtooth Dave hollow grinds, flat grinds all the time. I know I'm not Sawtooth Dave, but I need to mark that. I do like the way it's transitioning into the swedge. I don't know if y'all can see that. Right up there close to the tip. In there. I am quickly learning why these grinds cost more. This is a lot more work. Can't just crank this up and let it eat. Question is, do I ever want to do another one of these? Man, I'll be honest, I don't know. That was not enjoyable. It was very high stress. And I got it so thin, I don't know if y'all can see, I actually blew through the edge just a hair. I'll have to sharpen that out. But this son of a bitch ought to cut. That's for sure. Nerve-wracking. That's what that was. Exactly what that was. But I pulled it off. Pretty damn proud. Did you see that, Paul? Were you here for it? My first nightmare grind, hollow flat. Don't ask. I'm not sure I ever want to do it again. I'm just high grit sanding the flats right this minute so they're not black. keep fucking around, I'm gonna have Cheetos knife done. Not the batch, just Cheetos. A little more to get off there. It's not a little bit of picking I want to remove. I'd be here all night trying to do it with that Scotch Black belt. What's up, Maddie? How many people we even got in here? Still 5 or 6? Oh, 11. Shit, we're at a high tonight. Really need a 120 instead of a 220. I don't know if I Wore out 150. I don't need it to do much though. There's a little bit of pitting in the steel and heat treat. And the shinier I make the knife, the more it exposes it. Makes it very hard not to see it. Why won't you hit that spot, jackass? Yeah. You know, as excited as I was to get a new grinder, there's just some things that old grinder does better. I'm not going to bother moving everything. I'm just going to clean this up right here. I always kick myself trying to make things shiny. It just turns into way more work than you ever thought it was gonna. That's why sometimes belt satin's just your best bet. Still gonna need some hand sanding, but that's a motherfucker. It just happened to be sitting here, and I carried my bucket over there, Kyle. I wouldn't have drank that water for nothing. It's been sitting under the grinder. Whew. That ought to take a really good etch, though. Clean as I got it. Compound and hollow, yes sir. Not happy with it though. I'm gonna have to fix it, and I'm a little unnerved at the moment, so I'm not gonna attempt it. I'm pretty sure I can. There's just a lot of transitions and angles, all that have to, you not only have to get them all the same, but they have to come together. I don't know how to explain it. It's not a fun experience. It's fun when you're, yeah, when you feel like you're nailing it. And I felt that way for a little while. But now I've got to regrind the flat up at the front. Well, I did one full flat ground. I'm going to be honest, I like it better. But you know, the suede shows up nice. I kind of planned on ruining that one, and I don't know if I did or I didn't. I won't know till I try to fix it. I'm not gonna let it get me down. Yeah. I don't think y'all understand with jig grinding. You can draw all the fucking layout lines you want, but you can't see them. I could draw naked women on there. I wouldn't be able to see them. Not because of my eyesight, because it's both at the jig. So one side's against the jig, the other side's against the belt. What bicycle? Oh. There ain't enough, matey. There ain't enough super chats for that to work. I wouldn't mind taking that bass boat right there for a spin, or the one out back. But I don't know who talked Meathead into working on their bass boat. I thought he was forever done with that shit. He must like them an awful lot. I can't do it, Cheeto. This brace on it, my foot don't move that way, buddy. I'm sorry. Cheeto, I don't know if you saw it, but I got one flat ground that I like, and then I tried to do one with that compound ground or grind. Man, I just don't know. It's not as clean as I want it. I'm gonna have to sit on the back burner again until I get some a bunch of hand sanding done on it. It'd be easy enough, just flat grind them all. Tell Cheeto go fuck himself. But see, it's nice, and I want to make it the way he wants it. There's a good chance I might fail completely. I might waste all that S90 and never make one. I won't be mad about it. I'll just know I wasn't ready. There's just aspects of a compound grind that I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just went for it. I'm sure layout line would have helped you, Kyle, but they would have been no assistance to me. Not in that situation. So I wouldn't have been able to see them, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I'm definitely a lot closer than I was. Like, I made mistakes there that I know not to make next time. Layout lines, other than your center line, layout lines on jig grinding is like turning a portal on a TV behind you. I guess it's cool that it's there, but you can't use it. I don't know. I'm pretty tight. I don't know what I'm doing. I switched my chat setting now. Well, Cheeto, Bugsy, I have to challenge myself too, though. Like, I feel like I can make a homestead now, or a thug, and make it really, really nice. But then when you change designs, there's just little aspects that, I don't know, maybe a more seasoned knife maker would be prepared for and know how to tackle, but I just don't. So the result is I have to learn on every damn one of them. I have to figure it out. I don't know what you were trying to tell me though, Cheeto. I guess I didn't see it. Sorry about that. Now he's talking about layout lines for all the different all the different angles that had to be ground into that knife. It wasn't just one bevel, it was three. And I couldn't see them. If I drill them on, I wouldn't be able to see them, so it wouldn't matter. I know, Cheeto, but as limited as my time is in the shop, when I get in here, I don't feel like I've got hours to practice on mild steel. Shut up, Kyle. I'm just telling you that so you know I'm not ignoring you. It is a good idea. It just doesn't work on jig grinding, which kind of makes me regret ever getting into jig grinding. You know, I probably should have started freehand and I wouldn't have these limitations. But I'll figure it out. It'll all come together. I certainly ain't letting it get me down. if nothing else, I learned a lot about hollow grinding tonight. I'm pretty confident we've been able to do a hollow grind. But that compound grind, I don't know that I even should be attempting that. I mean, you know, that dude that does the ones for Strider, those are over $1,000 knives. It's so damn difficult, it takes so long to do. So I ain't gonna let it kill my confidence. I said when I started on that knife way over an hour ago that I was probably going to run it. I still don't think I've ruined it. I think it can be fixed. I just don't think I'm in the mindset to fix it right this minute. But I will admit one thing, and Kyle, you're probably the only one that'll remember this. One thing that was a huge mistake that I said I was going to stop doing. I said I was going to start surface grinding the blades before I grind the bevels. That would have saved my ass on that knife. Like, that would have been all the difference in the world. Now that I think about it, that could have made it. And then, I don't know if you were here, but the part that was so difficult was above the jig, so I could see it. And I got them nice and even. That wasn't a problem of knowing where to grind to. But once you put that metal to the face, to the platen, you don't know what you've done till you take it away. Like, you can't see exactly what you're removing. But I would have saved myself a lot of grief had I mean, you can tell I haven't cleaned them up. The handles are still black. Had I surface ground these beforehand, there's a good chance this one might not need redone. But it was going to have to be redone anyway because I blew through the edge. Like, I ground it past zero. I told everybody I did. So I've got to reshape it a little bit and redo that flat grind. No big deal. I know a lot of makers that wouldn't agree with me, but I would honestly rather blow through the edge and run it as to know that I didn't get it as thin as I could possibly get it. You know, people on my knives can talk about the refinement not being what they should be if they want. And I want to fix that. I want to get better at that. But most important to me, and that's why I let Kyle sharpen most of them, is I want him to say, man, that motherfucker will cut. Otherwise, I feel like a failure. I mean, shed knives proves you can make something pretty and cool looking. without even heat treatment. That ain't what I'm in this for. But I will get there. Said I ain't gonna let it get me down. I learned a lot. I made some pretty huge strides tonight. So I should be happy, so I'm gonna be happy. I don't know what you're saying, Bugsy. I'm not being sarcastic, I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about how thin I'm getting the edge, I had a center line mark. I got to it, but like I said, even if I could see the center line, once I hit the platen and make that pass, I don't know how much it's actually removed until I come off the grinder and look at it. And that one had removed a little too much. Not the first time. Probably won't be the last. Go to Steve Kalari's shop and look at the 3-foot tall stack of blown through knives laying on his table. So what you want to know about Steve, Steve's either going to make it perform or throw it in the fucking garbage. A lot of people don't know this. My micrometers quit on me. And I sent knives to Kyle. Kyle had to send back. You know why he sent them back? They weren't thin enough. Were they thin enough for most makers? Absolutely. But Kyle knows what I'm trying to accomplish. And he knew those knives weren't thin enough. So he sent them back. I had to redo them. That's not true, Kyle. On those knives, I guess it was, because I didn't have any micrometers. I don't know why you're trying to bust my balls tonight. Especially with a bunch of shit you know I'm sensitive about. I don't know where my damn brake clean went. Let's meet that jacket. I guess so, because I ain't got none. Ain't got a lick. No alcohol. Nothing to get this fucking glue off with. All right. Fish all winter, we're going back to Nora Brown's knife since we gave that epoxy plenty of time to set up. I was mislabeling this micarta, by the way. I forgot this is butterscotch micarta. What the hell's Ryan doing up this late? Butterscotch micarta. So we know we're not going to put hardware in this. We already talked about Jason, we want brass pins. I can't keep the damn sweat out of my face tonight. It's fucking miserable in here, man. Jesus. Let me go get a water. I ain't consumed any liquids, and I probably sweated a gallon. My underwear are wet, my shirt's wet, stuck to me, my socks are wet. And it's nighttime with a big industrial fan on me. I think it'd be better. Oh, there's that pecan praline bourbon in there. That's the last thing I need. I'm really surprised it's been in there that long. May have to buy that fancy shit and it'll sit there till it gets good and pickled one night. Let's get that bourbon out. He'll end up shitty. But if I had to bet on somebody drinking a 24 pack and still being able to function, it'd be me. And I know a lot of people who drink the 24 pack in a day. Sometimes me had to drink a 30. The speech gets a little different. And it gets a little emotional. It gets a lot emotional, to be honest. It can still function. Oh, now I gotta pee. I'm sorry, I'll be right back. I'm back. Now we gotta see if this brass pan will even fit. Boy, she's snug. Really snug. I ain't gonna be able to stick with this much longer, guys. Been at it 4 hours in fucking heat. See you, Ryan. But I gotta water this hole out in this knife so these pins will go through it. These were made so long ago, it was before I discovered the oversized 1/4-inch drill bit. Hell, I was just thinking about it. I don't even think I heat treated these knives. These may have been from Brian Kim's. They've been around here that long. That worked. I'm not even sure how long ago it was I made these. They've been hanging in here forever. See how long ago I know it was. One of them was supposed to be Grateful Panics, and one of them was supposed to be Grumpy Grunts. I'll tell you how long it's been since I made them. So I don't have anything to do with any one of them motherfuckers anymore. Question is, do I have the epoxy I need to install these handles? There's a bottle of it, dried up like a bitch. So I guess I'll take it home and do it because I know I've got some there. So I need the knife, the pen, I need the pen cut in half. Because I ain't gonna be here much longer, guys. And the sweat's just pouring off of me, man. This may be getting borderline dangerous. But I'm fixing to quit. Alright, that's it. That's all I'm doing tonight. I'm gonna take this shit home, hand sand those scales. Get them glued up. I just can't handle this heat. Like, I swear, it feels like it's gotten hotter in here. So I'm gonna call it a night, guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I'm gonna get this place closed up and go home. See y'all later.